This episode is brought to you by Mortgage Workflow Partners and the Mastering Encompass series, both for users as well as administrators. You can find out all the information about it over at masterengencompass.com. Also, if you'd like to check out what we're doing on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel using the @MasteringEncompass handle. And make sure you stay up to date on all the information, not just with podcasts, but also video content that we bring to you as often as possible. Now let's get on to the episode. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, everybody. We'll wait for some folks to get here. Everybody's getting admitted. Welcome, Larry Bailey, Mortgage Workflow Partners. It's been a day. Today is April 3rd, 2026, and it's the Ask Me Anything hour. Quick note, if you want to join this, you can. It's available to administrators and users of Encompass. I don't care who you are. If you have questions on what's going on inside Encompass or what's going on inside your Encompass, bring the questions. Bring the questions. If you're watching this on replay and you're like, how do I join? Go to masterengencompass.com, sign up. It's free. And then add these events. It's every other Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Plenty of snarky individuals on these meetings. So if you want to come and laugh and see who gets asked what and see what the answers are, check it out. All right, couple of housekeeping items. First of all, if you are going to be at the Mortgage Collaborative in a few weeks, look me up or Patty up. Be glad to sit down and talk with you about whatever. Also, if you're going to be at the ICE conference, that's in March. We're going to be at booth 807. We're a gold sponsor for both of these events, which just means we paid a lot of money to get our name up there. Big deal. What it really means, though, for us is a huge step forward. So fortunately, we've had a ton of awesome clients support us and keep these things growing. It also allows us to continue helping you. So if you have a question, raise your hand, use the Q&A, use the chat. I do my best. Sometimes I totally screw up and miss a question, so be patient with me, please. Amy Blum, we're going to make Amy hold her question until the very, very end because she said it's a really long one, so we're not even going to give her time to ask the question. I think that's fair, right? And we're off. So who's got questions first? Okay, Amy, you go first. You got your hand raised, so I guess that's appropriate. What you got, Amy? Oh, wait, I have to take you off mute. I forgot about that. See? Told you I'd screw it up. All right, Amy, you should be able to unmute.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Is that a good thing? I don't know. Sometimes my husband would say yes. It's a good thing.
Fair enough.
Okay, I have a question for you, and it's about TPO Connect, kind of. Can I share my screens? Am I allowed to do that?
Should be able to. I don't know. Try it.
I'm
says
blocked.
No share?
No.
It says blocked? Really? Well, that's just unfair. Let me see if I can do something about that. Make a presenter. It says be careful because Amy may show something on camera that you don't want anyone else to see.
Oh, I can end the meeting for all. Look at that.
Ooh, don't do that. You'll really make some friends.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So this is a TPO Connect, this TPO information, and we have loan officer, loan processor, and we have this delegated contact right here.
Uh-huh.
This is the one that I am trying to get notifications to go to. So when you go, when you go to these templates and you have this person here.
Well, that's an internal. So you're kind of cheating because you're trying to use something that it wasn't designed to do, but go ahead.
I know, but that's what I do best. So I did that and I went in and created that persona, and I went to roles and I made sure it said who you want.
Right.
So, but I'm not getting them. Does that work?
No, it's because it's not designed to work that way.
What I need to know is so we have a lot of correspondence, and they want various emails to go to various people at various times. So we use all three of those. We use all three of those contacts and TPO information heavily. I need to be able to, in web, send to that delegated contact, and I don't know how to. I've tried my best, and I don't know how to do it.
So first of all, kudos for trying. Like I always want you to try because there's a thing out there that says tell me the 5 things you failed at today, which means you tried 5 things. So good. So kudos for trying. But because you're trying to send an internal email to an external user, kind of a thing, that I don't think it's programmed that way. Now, again, I didn't build the code, right? So who the hell knows? But the reality is, external users are like that user account is not in your internal table, it's in your external table
Then how come I can send it to TPO loan officer and loan processor, and they're also external?
because it was mapped that way.
In
That's
roles?
why. In Encompass, yeah. Yeah. So when you go through, if you go back to notification templates, please, in web settings. I was trying to break the rules, Amy. I love it.
Well, I actually did, and I don't know why I spelled that wrong, but I just want to know I am a good speller. But
So
I
change
actually went in.
this. Yeah, go ahead. You went in where?
I actually went in and I created this role, and I signed it to Katie as this role in TPO Connect.
Yeah.
So she has that role on her user.
I expect the TPO-LO and the TPO-LP to behave differently because they are kind of the OGs.
Okay.
What you're trying to do is not use Encompass internal users like you have up there in your notification type. Please flip that to external users.
Yeah, but see, this is
So hear me out. Hear me
okay.
out. So this is where it gets not really helpful, right? And by the way, I know you're going to ICE. I'm going to ICE again, like booth 807. Partner advisory board meeting that I'm attending. Myself and Kristen is that Monday or Sunday or something. This is going to come up. And so I know that because there are a few large, very, very large clients that are on and or are moving to Encompass that need specialized email addresses for specialized reasons. So I know, so although I can't give you any forward-looking statements that you can rely upon because I can't do that. I can tell you that this item right here is being heavily reviewed because the only way I can do this is with an external application, which I have to build for this one project because I need a purchase advice literally to go to one specific email address for one specific client. And they're not in the file. They're not in anywhere. And so they're in the TPO external company setup, but they're not actually in the file. And I need to have that because of everything you're outlining.
Well, and because we have other emails too that we send out, like when purchase or pended, we have 2 custom fields that we will send to them, and I need to be able to capture those and into some of these. And that's where, when they limit us like this, I have to use a third-party vendor, and then I have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it when I can natively should be able to do it myself.
Yeah, it's poopy, right? I mean, you
Yes.
should be able to do this. It's on one of my slides in the session. Like literally, on my slide, I put on there, I'm paying Encompass. It should be able to do this. I'm paraphrasing, but we all know that. We all know this. So you're not doing anything wrong. I think the answer to your question is why doesn't it work is because you're trying to get Encompass to do something it wasn't designed to do. So it might work, it might not. In your case, it's not surprising the internal users of TPO, LO, and LP work because they're hard coded into the OG settings. But everything else, including that correspondent contact, like that's newer. It's not brand new, but it's newer. But everybody else, I
If I made this as
expect
an internal and external, or whichever one I have, if I made that delegated one as an external, here it is way up here, internal, external, will that mess other things up?
I don't know.
It won't
Maybe.
matter.
And maybe, I mean, again, the reason why this was created and this only exists, by the way, if you don't have TPO Connect enabled, you're not going to see internal, external. This only exists if you have TPO enabled for your client, for your Encompass instance. So that references what's available for your personas in your TPO loan actions, because it's an external TPO, so it's intentionally referencing resources that are not in your internal organization list. So, but that's got nothing to do with email configuration or email deliverability. I just
Okay.
don't think, if I had to guess, Amy, I wouldn't expect the notification template to be able to go fetch the email address of what you're trying to go. That, I think that's where it's breaking, personally.
I just
It's,
had high hopes because I could assign the role
I know.
and because they were assigned in TPO Connect as that
Oh,
role also. I had
yeah,
high hopes.
I
Okay,
know.
well, I guess I will wait until they
Do you want me to?
improve it. Did you freeze up or did I freeze up?
I blame Amy.
Oh, Larry froze up. Okay. Sorry,
Am I
I couldn't
back?
hear you. You must have asked something and I was like, am I frozen or are
No,
you
it's
frozen?
me. No, it's always me. So you want to hear something like a crazy idea?
Mhm.
Go back into the file for me. I mean, it is cold in Jersey, so I definitely froze. But go back into that file and I want to show you something real quick. This is really
Into,
good. Go back into that file and go back into TPO uh, TPO
yeah,
information tool,
that's
please.
where I'm at. Oh, I
I'm
didn't
not seeing
share.
your screen.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's because I stopped sharing.
Katie, yell at Amy some more, please.
I saw when
So
I thought I
this,
froze up, so I was
so here's the crazy part. I want you to update the email address for TPOLO.
here.
No, the email address, just not the user, don't do a lookup, just email address right there.
I
You
use,
can't,
I don't,
right?
no,
But
I
you
was gonna say I
can,
can't.
but you can, but you can. You can put that field onto a custom input form and make it editable. And so if you're really jonesing for a fix, use the TPOLO, but update the TPOLO email to be
I
what
can't.
you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but what happened, like, I already do that. Like, this is a delegated lender. When they put in their contact, it copies it to the LO automatically just to solve that problem on some things. But
Yeah.
we also do, like, when a file gets submitted or if it's a non-del and it gets approved, people want their contacts to change. And so we use we use a business rule and we automatically will change the name and the email and stuff
Okay.
on these three to do that. And sometimes I need all three contacts to send the loan officer, loan processor, and this one. So I was just trying to
Yeah.
capture that third one. Otherwise, we're going to have to keep using our third party vendor for this.
All right. Well, if you've already done all that and it's still not sufficient, not everybody has that problem. But yeah, you're just going
Okay.
to want to document your case. I would make sure you explain to ICE why that's important and ask them in person. Why can't we do this yet? When are we going to be able to do this?
Okay. I will. Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thanks, Amy. It wasn't that long of a question. Other questions? Who else got something? Watching chat. Let me blow up this chat over here so I don't lose track. Breaking the meeting. Nothing going on. Nobody's got questions. Lisa. All right. Let's see if I can figure this out. Lisa. There you are up there. Thanks for raising your hand. And come on, teams. Allow Mike. Go, Lisa.
Maybe. Okay. So I had asked a question last time when I was trying to add like a borrower and a co-borrower like into a word merge field, and you said I should create a custom field for that to be into a custom input form.
Yeah.
What do you do for the custom field? Like, do you just put the information in there, or how do you get it to be the and? I'm so word merge orientated because I knew that from a prior loan system that's all I really know.
Yeah.
How would
So
you recommend?
it's just code. So are you asking me how do you create the sentence in VB? Like, what are you asking?
You said create a custom field. What do I put in the custom field? Just put like the field numbers, or
If you want, so if you
like
give me the sentence, like give me some context.
I just wanted it to be like it'll just be like Lisa, and then if I had my husband, where it'd be like and Rob, but if it wasn't, then the and wouldn't be there. Like
Yeah,
if I
so you're going
wanted
to, in that particular case, you're going to use standard field calc language. So do you have practice? Have you practiced writing nested if statement field calcs?
no,
Okay. Um, what do you use for your VB editor?
I don't know
Okay.
what VB editor is.
Okay, that's fair. Let me throw it on the screen. Candace said field trigger. It's true. You could use field trigger also. Um, totally fine. It just depends on your use case.
I mean, there's a
Uh,
lot more complex one. That was one of the easier ones. Like I have a whole bunch of word merge field in if statements and hidden in on
yeah.
stuff. So
So again, I want to frame this properly for those that don't know what Lisa's talking about from last week. Um, what we're talking about is, yep, Amy is a regular person again. So what we're talking about here is issues where we want to update the Word document. And Lisa, you're probably better to reframe this again, but my answer at the time was consider instead of using Word merge code, use a custom field to give you the calculation of the text you want, so you don't have to rely upon Word merge code. And the reason why I started doing that was because I suck at writing merge code. Like, it's just terrible. Number one. Number two, I needed to make sure of what was going to go on the form at an input form level, and I could look to see if that was correct at the input form level before I allowed it to go into a custom print form. That's me just trying to come up with an easier way to test. So when we get into merge code, sorry, in the field code, I'm just looking on my I'm looking for an example. This is a good example, actually. This is not going to be what you're asking for necessarily, but it's good enough in the moment. So on my screen, I use some of this code for disclosure readiness methods, and so this is what I'm talking about. This is a nested if statement field calc. So Lisa, you're not familiar with this, or you are? Maybe I just was using
I
words you
mean,
weren't
I
used to.
can I can fumble my way through some of this, but I'm not very good with that.
Do you have the PDF from ICE? It's been around forever. That's your Bible. Hopefully, you keep handy. Called Custom Field Calculations.
Yeah.
Okay, it's right in there. Now, naturally, this is more complex, right? But the idea is, if the following statement is true, that's all this. This is the if statement. If this entire statement is true, then everything in these double quotes is what's shown. If this entire statement is false, then the result is, in this case, the next line. And you can see what I did here. Like, you can go as far as you want. Now, I just put simple words in here because I'm displaying something in a field, but the idea is the same. So you can write whatever you want in the sequence to be true, but just like a DDM, this statement should be evaluated to be unique from every other statement evaluation, because you don't want to have two possible truths in this tree.
So
That
then do
makes
you just
sense.
do that in like the advanced code area?
Yep. Yeah. In your custom field calc. So
Okay.
in your custom field calc, that's here. So yeah, you drop in that in here, custom field calcs on custom fields. Um, Yeah, and Candace is so awesome. I just
Thank
closed it.
you.
What the hell happened to it? Yeah, she put it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so this whole piece is, if the co-borrower's name is not empty, then the output of that custom field is first name and last name. Now, I would use the 1600 fields because it already does the concatenation for you right from CD. I wouldn't worry about trying to concatenate first and last. But the idea is the same, and you would just drop that into your CX dot field. Oh man, click string. Those are all, I don't have, I don't know. I don't know if this is, okay, this is good enough. You just drop it in there, right? Two things on here, please. Candace. And it's funny because I'm always, for those borrower fields, I'm always going to CD page 4 for borrower names because I hate concatenating first and last name because it's like first and middle and last and surname. Um, anyway, just please do me a favor. Please write single IFs. I'm so tired of seeing double IFs everywhere. A double IF is only going to work in loan custom fields. It's not an actual Visual Basic thing, and it also won't work anywhere else. So just get in the habit of writing single IFs. It drives me nuts. I still see people using double I's because it won't work anywhere else. Craig, what'd you load up there? Oh, cool. Yeah, deer plus. Yeah, yeah. Those are all great examples. Thanks, gang,
Thank
for
you.
putting that on there. Super helpful.
And
Lynn
then,
says, I'm sorry, Lisa.
sorry, I just had one other question since it just came up a little bit ago when we were in our last meeting, actually, when I was working, but where it has like the decimal on one of your other custom fields up there, or decimal, and you have the _2, so it'll show out the cents on there.
Yeah, yeah.
How do I get it so that it doesn't show out to like the cents on there?
Well,
Which drop down?
you do 0.0 decimal right here.
I tried that and I tried updating it, but it didn't update my field. But it might be something else in a calc that's showing. But if it's on an input form, I changed that, but it's still showing my decimals.
Is your what's the when you go through and you look at the control, is it a string control or integer control?
How do I know that?
Well, do this. Do me a favor. Switch your field type to integer instead of decimal,
Okay.
and tell me if that solves for your problem. Let's just start there.
Oh, okay. I can try that.
What I'd like you to, if I was doing anything, this field would be mapped to a string control in your input form. But yeah, like Candace said, integer should work. Yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah,
idea.
if the
Okay, thank you.
if the decimal doesn't, these are basically limiters.
Well,
I
that's
think the
my thought,
decimal,
but
I think the decimal lets you have as many decimals as you want. These are limiters. So if you wanted nothing after, you did not want the dot anything, I would select integer. I agree
okay,
with
perfect.
Candace.
Thanks.
Super questions. You guys are awesome. Lynn says, is there any news if a custom field calc will work on the web? Yeah, so so yes, there's a thing, everybody, with custom field calculations on the web, and the reason why it's a thing is because in desktop, when you move from form to form, the file's recalculating. And web is not working like that. I don't know if it's intended to or not, but I can tell you, Lynn is 100% correct that if you have a field calc on your screen and you change other data, that field calc is not updating until you click save. I'm not a web guy. It is true. That is how it works. So my question would be, my answer would be, is there any news? The news is it's working as designed. I don't know if the design is intentional. So if anybody's here from Ice Mortgage Technology wants to take that question, great. Otherwise, I would encourage everybody, if you're wondering about this, open up a support case with the web team and ask them, this is the behavior, is this working as designed? And let them answer the question and then go from there. Yeah. Candace says, Kate, you guys are talking about if you change the format. Yeah. You cannot change the format of a field if it's in the reporting database. You've got to pull it out of reporting database, go back into Encompass, change the format, and then if you want this field back in, keep in mind when you do that, any historical data is going to get wiped. So be careful if you're doing this during normal business hours, because it could cause pipeline views, dashboards, and reports to go blank until that reporting database is updated. Fun times. Cool. What else we got on here? Questions? Wait, chat's right in front of me, so that's good. hopefully you guys are all set for ICE conference. For those that have already registered for the wrap-up event, I can't wait to see you. It's going to be super duper fun. Christy's going to be there. Jim's going to be there. Zach's going to be there. It's going to be a great time. Be prepared to work and eat and drink, but it's going to be fun. I promise you that. What else we got? Is anybody having any problems? I'm going to ask questions now. Is anybody having any problems with their notification templates, specifically setting up or using your sender configuration? I saw someone recently had a problem where their bank's IT, they weren't receiving the emails because their bank security was picking up that it was a spoof. I don't know if anybody else has picked up on that. I haven't heard that except for this one highly sensitive operation. But other than that, just as a reminder, please make sure you open up a case with ICE before you start. Amy, how'd you fix it? I took you off mic so you can't talk. Do you want to talk it or you want to type it? IT fixed it? Yeah. Do you know what they did? They did something IT-ish. And they helped? Okay. De-spoofed it? Very well said, Amy. Very well said. Okay. That was good. Other questions? 40 other folks in here. Anybody have any questions about enhanced conditions, disclosure packages? Pro forma CD has come up a lot in the last couple of weeks. One form printing rules come up a lot. February 13th. Look for the drop of the final release notes. I got that confirmed by ICE yesterday. So Feb 13, I'll do my best to do a walkthrough video because I know you guys love to watch me talk for some reason. I'll do that, but just be on the lookout for that. Carrie asks, how do you export all details of enhanced condition? So when you say export all details, because you're using the export settings input form thing, Carrie, that's been around for a while. Yeah, so if we go over into eFolder setup and we go to enhanced conditions and you want to export all of these, right? Carrie says, I want to show documents attached and who can clear. That you need to have a developer, somebody who understands Encompass language, who can create that export for you. So no, I don't know of any native way to do that. Lisa said, I'm having issues with conditions being marked as cleared, but not showing as cleared. Lisa, do you want to talk that one through? I don't know if that's a question or if you can explain any more about that. If you raise your hand, I'll find you in the list. If you want to talk it through. Cool. Let me take you off of mic. Cool. All right. You're free to talk. Or did I just kill you? Hang on. No, yeah, you should be.
I think I'm here. Yeah.
You're good. Hey, Lisa.
So I just posted a just a snippet of what I'm talking about. All of these conditions are cleared, but the disposition still shows open.
Oh, how did you update it to cleared?
It lets you mark it as cleared in the condition, but yeah, I've been on 2 calls with ICE so far, and the first one wasn't helpful. The second one, well, he's got to look into it, and we'll
So quick question for you, because we know that this problem existed with the disposition icon not being updated properly. I think 25.3, I might even be thinking 25.2, they updated that to work. But that was a problem for a long time with enhanced conditions. So, but you're not using workflow rules, you're doing it manually?
Correct.
Yeah. I would ask you to do something interesting, just as an aside, just because I have a hunch. The condition that worked on your screenshot was it modified at a different time in your settings than all the others that aren't working.
That's a good question. I just modified it day before yesterday when I was on the phone with ICE, so I probably can't see when it was modified before that.
Okay, so that would be number one. Number two, if you look at Jamie's screenshot, thank you, Jamie. For this condition type, for
Yeah.
all the others, you're positive that cleared is unchecked.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Cleared is
I figured you did
unchecked.
that. Yeah. I
The
figured you did that.
persona has access. The persona has the rights to clear everything but
Yeah,
waive.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I would, so your last modified, by the way, is over here.
Yeah.
Right? It's a column in there. So when you say you're not quite sure, what I'm looking for is.
Well, I modified it day before yesterday when I was on the phone with ICE, so I don't know what the date was before that.
Well, that's fine, but if you try it now, so what I'd ask you to do is try it now that, in other words, add a condition in that you recently modified versus adding a condition you've not recently modified and see if there's a
Oh,
difference
gotcha.
of experience. That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
figure out.
Okay.
We're all poking at straws, right? We have no
Yeah.
idea why some of this stuff works or doesn't work,
Right.
including some of the ICE admin team. So I would say anytime that I can't get a behavior to go as expected, what I'm worried about is like here, we'll do it together, right? Let's go into
Okay.
this enhanced condition and let's go look at the E folder. And we've got plenty of conditions that were added back in 2024, right?
Mhm.
I know that this was broken back in 2024. So if I go in a market as cleared, close, works. Same thing, cleared, close works. So the fact that your UI is not updating, what I would, I mean, that was, these were, I'll just go and add a new one just for today, just for kicks. And so if I go over here, market is cleared, and there's that one that I just did, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So works for me, great, hooray. If that doesn't help you. And I would ask you for two things. Try what I suggested, but then also I want you to open this loan in WebView and go mark the condition as cleared in
Okay.
Web.
Okay.
And I want you to be running the HAR file while you're doing this in case it fails. So it can be displayed in the HAR file what's really going on in the back end.
What do you mean? You mean in the desktop? The hard file?
No, HAR file is going to be on WebView only.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? You can say no.
No, I don't know
Okay.
that language.
So what we're going to do is we're going to open this file. So HAR file is a term that is a web developer term. And what it allows everyone to do is to see for the first time actually what's happening with the loan file as it's happening. It shows you business rules firing. It's what we use to troubleshoot TPO Connect a lot. As an example, because not that many companies are on Encompass Web, but as more companies come to web, this is extraordinarily helpful. So what we want to do is when we go into the file, you're going to, if assuming you're using Chrome, I don't know what you do for Edge, you have to look that up, but for Chrome, you
I
click
am using Edge. Should I?
You can use it, it's fine.
Okay. Okay.
As long as it's not Microsoft Internet Explorer, you're totally fine. So click the kebab in Chrome, go to more tools, and you go to developer tools. And what we're looking for over here is network. This is what creates the HAR file. So if we go over to conditions, you see all this stuff loading up. There's the conditions, there's the loader, there's all this stuff going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoopee, right? So we'll go to docs just because I don't want to totally kill the screen. I know I clicked it. There it goes. So if I were to go into docs, see how it's open? So if I click on that condition and I mark it as cleared, save, see how it's tracking right there? See how it's live? There's a fail right there. What is that? So it looks like something doesn't like me for some reason. But now it shows satisfied. So if I go into cleared on February 3rd, this credit refresh, if I go ahead and exit the file, and now I'm going to go back to my desktop. I'm going to go back into that loan file. So I can see that it got satisfied, right? It's very clear on the web view. And then what I would do is to come back in desktop, because that's probably what you're using all day, Lisa. And I can go and see, sorry, that this one was just cleared and satisfied right here. This guy is this one.
Okay.
So if that showed still the clock on yours, now we have a HAR file to see what's going on.
Okay.
So that'll help you. That'll help your case. I mean, it'll give them more information. I would expect it would help. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yes.
But check it out. But that's what, if you ever hear an ad, you know, somebody at ICE or whoever say, hey, can you get me the HAR file? They're asking you to open up that loan in Encompass Web, do the thing in Encompass Web, but capture it. And I totally left out the most important part. I'm so sorry. So when you go through, when you go into developer mode, sorry, I left out the most important part. When you go through in development mode, when you get this down, there's a little button here that's download. So you would export HAR right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I left that out.
I
So that's
actually did that this morning with something else, so I got that.
cool. All right. Rocking. Good luck,
Okay.
Lisa. Let us know how you make out.
Thank you.
You got it. Angie, you got a question. You're able to unmute. So Angie says, why do we want the cleared box unchecked? Because
yeah, that's what I don't understand the tracking options in the
because Angie, just because.
in the condition types.
So condition types.
Okay.
If it's checked, it means it's open. The status means it's open. So these are actually open, right? If it's cleared or waived, it's no longer open, which means you get that green check mark. It is, Luba, you're 100% right. It is so backwards.
Confusing. Okay.
It is. It's like I want it to be checked to mark it as open, but in Encompass, if it's checked, it means it's cleared. It's like, obviously nobody was talking to the other person. So, and then to boot, you have these green check marks, which means this role is allowed to update the status of these statuses. So if I don't use received, like in my imaginary mortgage company, I don't use received or reviewed or rejected. Those are dumb to me. The condition's either open, fulfilled, cleared, or waived. And in my underwriting category condition type, my underwriter is allowed to mark it cleared or waived. Everybody's already allowed to mark it requested, re-requested, fulfilled. I don't need to do anything special. But that's what that means. And this is how you know, obviously you can customize all this stuff. You know, and these are, you know, for everybody else, these are lessons I go through in the Mastering Encompass course. I help explain how to do this stuff so that you learn it and you can do it on your own. But Angie, does that make sense?
It does now. Thank
Okay.
you.
You got it. Anytime. Great questions. Luba, go fix that too, by the way. I know it is backwards. Time to fix it. So anybody have any questions on enhanced conditions while I'm here? I'm here. We got, I don't know, 15 minutes. While we're waiting for questions, I will say this. Oh, let me ask you, there's 41 people on here. Who has not started using enhanced conditions in their daily driver? Just, I'm guessing if everybody's listening to me right now and everybody answers, it's got to be at least 60% are not using it today. If it's less than that, it's probably because you're not paying attention. You don't feel like raising your hand. All right, I appreciate it, guys. So here's the deal. Let me let you in on a huge thing that should not be a secret. To move from standard conditions to enhanced conditions is in the admin tools. It's condition migration tool. And to take Sean Foot's comment, it's very simple to switch because you can use the admin tool to migrate your standard condition to your enhanced. And you have to come in here and then you have to activate. Click activate, click activate, click activate. It's like playing, you know, video game. Ian, Jamie, I see your hands. I'll get you in 1 second. Where people go wrong, where projects go wrong and never happen, is because you try to fix your conditions before you move them to enhanced. It's like trying to clean your house before you move. You don't do it. It's a bad idea. It's just a bad idea. You don't get rid of your stuff before you move. Real life, you get rid of your stuff after you move, right? Or don't activate it. If you know you're not going to use it, leave it inactive. So I do have a step-by-step on the project. You guys lowered your hands? Sorry, you don't have questions? If you have any questions, raise your hand. I'll take you off mic. Oh, you were just raising my hand, my question. I'm sorry. Samantha, ICE reached out to you. Are they charging you, Samantha? I hope not. Please say no. Yeah. Carrie's steps, Luba, are dead on correct. Free engagement to upgrade today. Great. So Samantha, I'm guessing that they gave you an enhanced conditions implementation game plan, workbook, flow chart, something, hopefully. I'm praying that they did that. And if they didn't, I'm surprised. But the reality is ICE is on a path to try to help people understand this is not a big deal. Where it is a big deal is in real life. So what'll happen is your underwriters will be thankful because the UI, and I'll address the comments here in a second, but I just want to bring this on screen. The UI is far better, far better on enhanced conditions than standard. I mean, this is the enhanced condition view. So you don't need to fix your names. You don't need to fix your internal descriptions. You can still keep underwriting condition type. Where underwriters get in trouble with enhanced conditions are the following. Excuse me. They get frazzled because they're used to being able to click the box that says allow to clear and then assign it to the processor. That's not a thing in enhanced condition. That's a condition type setting. So when you go through this project, you want to take all your conditions out of Encompass, and there's an input form floating around the communities. If you don't have one, just ask around. I'm sure somebody will share it with you, where you can export all your standard conditions out into an Excel file. And it does have the documents attached. The reason why there's not one for enhanced is because it just hasn't been shared out in the public space. But ask a friend, I'm sure they'll find you one. The next step is when you go through, you want to take out all the conditions that can only be cleared by underwriting. Those are the conditions that really belong in the underwriting condition type, going back to the setting I showed you earlier, where only the underwriter role can clear that. And then everything else you can decide, well, can only the closer clear this, or can only the QA clear this, or whatever. And then everything else is an anyone can clear condition. And so when those conditions get added, you can't easily see the condition type in here. So if you go to type, right, there's no such thing as condition type. There's a name, there's a status, disposition, but you can't sort it by type here. You've got to go into it, and then you can see the type is here. This type here is what's here in your enhanced condition here. So don't overcomplicate this. You need underwriting. Maybe you do UW and closure. Maybe you do UW and LP. Maybe you do, everyone can clear kind of a thing. Don't use preliminary just to recreate that condition in underwriting. That's a waste of time and confusing. If you want your processor to clear conditions, let them clear processing conditions. Like, what the hell's the difference? So the other thing, like Candace said, I completely agree. Don't get tripped up with internal, external. This does affect your print forms. So if you're using print forms, you do have to go back in and remap to the merge code for conditions. And And what Carrie said, external is what prints. So this is what's going to print if this condition is open in the file, and I have that custom print form showing that. So Jamie asked, what do I think about the new workflow where you can enable it in a single loan and prod? Two thumbs up, like 20 thumbs up, Jamie. So what Jamie's talking about is the ability to use the standard field that was rolled out in 25.4. Couldn't come soon enough. So this way you can enable a single loan through a business rule to be enhanced conditions. Keep in mind, you can only do that if no conditions exist in the file before that move. So if you want to change this to standard conditions, ain't going to work because there's already enhanced conditions in the file. There it is right there, enhanced cond.x1. Thanks, Jamie. Carrie, when you're going in, you definitely want to come into custom print forms, and you want to, if I come in here like all conditions as an example. I'm going to open up Word. It's a lovely experience. Ooh, that's sexy. So, you know, your conditions down here, this is the merge code, right, for your standard stuff. Make sure you use this, please. Go to enhance condition by options. Go to category options. Select what category you want, if you want. You can also, instead of doing that, you can just do prior to. That's what most companies do. Prior to approval or prior to docs. Do all conditions if you want, or condition type specifically. You can do both internal and external. Typically, companies do external, and then typically companies do open only. If you insert that, it'll give you this. I should have done it on a separate line, but it gives you, come on, man. I just popped it in there. Let me try again, so you can see it clearly. There it is. I would never try typing that in, nor would I use copy paste. Please don't do that. It's a virtual field. Use the selector up here, as Candace strongly suggested. Carrie, does that help? Or somebody asked for it. Sorry, I don't know who asked for it. Somebody did. Oh, Jamie did. No, he didn't do that. I don't know, whoever it was. Okay, so that's a question. To get the internal condition descriptions to print. I don't know why that's important. Just use the external. I don't know why you'd ever want to print the internal. That's a business asking for something they don't need. How do you set who can clear? Oh, Angie, we already answered that question. Clear in the condition type. So, are you good, Angie, with that question? So condition type is in your external enhanced conditions, and condition type. Oh, you mean who can? Well, it's role based. So first of all, at the persona level, are they allowed to manage conditions? And then in here is the role allowed to update the status. That's how that rolls. So two parts. Again, job function. Is it the persona's job function to manage conditions? If so, what condition type are they allowed to manage? Remember, this is the role. So if their name is in as processor, even if they're an underwriter, they're not going to be able to do anything for this condition type. Keep that in mind.
Can I ask another question about that?
Sure, of course.
Can that be set anywhere else within the condition?
Nope, only here.
Just here.
Yep. That's why I showed you this example, because and that's why I gave you those instructions. Because when you look at all of these 154 conditions, some of these are exclusive underwriter. Nobody else can do that. Whereas maybe you want the processor to clear CAVers or credit inquiries, whatever. Okay. Cool. Lisa, you're still unable to talk. If you want to take yourself off and ask.
Yeah, so I understand that if you don't have that role, then you wouldn't be able to, but doesn't that checkbox that says apply these settings to the role, even when the role is not assigned to the loan file, does
Oh,
that
you mean up
override it?
here?
Yeah.
Now, so so role assigned to the file is in this is the same. There's also in the role access to documents business rule. So down here, it's the same checkbox, right?
Okay.
So what this is talking about is not the person to the role. It's does the role exist in the file based upon who the user is. So you know how up in milestone templates, we have the ability to add or not have roles up in here. So that's when we look at our templates, what we're talking about is here. So if we had something for a role of elephant, and we don't see elephant here, but we've got Larry, the user, who is tied to a persona that is in the role of elephant here, the behavior of Larry, the user, when it comes to role access to documents, is going to behave as what elephant says here, like new role. Like that wasn't in the list, right? So if my user account was tied to a persona that was tied to the role of new role, but the new role doesn't exist in the milestone template, we're telling Encompass to still behave with the settings that are specific to that role. In the past, before this checkbox existed, everybody was always an other. And it became really hard to know how we wanted Encompass to behave for Larry, even though Larry wasn't in the file. And so that functionality was extended to enhanced conditions because it's a role-based function. Sorry, I just totally clicked on that. It's not what I meant. All of these behaviors are role-based here. So the test role is not a persona. It is a user account that's tied to a persona. And if that persona is tied to this role, then my experience as Larry is this row right here. Even if that new that test role is not in the file. Did I help you? Did I make it any less confusing?
That helped.
Okay. So Carrie said, I'm curious how others are using. Oh, she's just asking for crowdsourcing. Jamie says, so basically, if they appear in the drop down in the role, they will be able to clear. If you have a status of cleared over here, you're going to look at this column, and if they have a checkbox, so if I was assigned to the test, if my user account was in the test role, I would be allowed to mark the status of any underwriting condition type as cleared. So Sean put a note on there. Thanks, Sean, for sharing that. He uses received because he wants to mark a condition as received and not fulfilled. So received just means that if a processor were to go in and mark it as received here, that still means the condition is open. So to use the thing from Lisa earlier, who it was, the clock will still be there. It's not cleared. That's all. Yeah, okay. So if that was the case, Sean, I'm presuming that then you marked it as that in the tracking options, but you left received as empty for all of these, right? So nobody can actually select that. Is that the way you did? Just curious. That's what I would have done. So it's there in case you want to use it. Keep in mind this is a go fetch table, gang. So go fetch table in English just means that when the condition is added to the file, it carries the attributes of the table at the time of assignment. So Sean answered they can. So Sean had this box checked for all of them. So they could use it, although you know, if they're trained not to, maybe they don't. Carrie says it would be nice if received also tied to document received. Why? Why do you want to do that, Carrie? Documents are not conditions. Documents are not conditions. I could spend another 15 minutes, which we don't have. But please, 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 do not confuse document workflow with condition workflow. One of the other things that I'll leave you with when we're talking about enhanced conditions, one of the assets that you have in your arsenal when you move to enhanced conditions is automation, right? The goal is when data exists in a file, it spawns automated conditions in the file so that hopefully when your underwriter goes in for their first underwrite, they come into the conditions tab and they look and they have a view that says fulfilled, and they underwrite these conditions. Now your processor would have gone through in your documents and they would have gone over and said, hey, the appraisal condition came in, the appraisal came in, it's current version, it's received, but I'm going to mark it as, I'm going to make sure that it's marked as received, obviously, but make sure that the condition it's tied to in here, like whatever these two things are, that those conditions are marked as fulfilled. And so if you're programming this administratively, what you really want is your automated conditions to be marked in here, and we can see which condition has documents. And so if we go into that document, we can then see whatever we see, and then that person can mark it as fulfilled. This is optimized workflow. If you have your teams constantly landing on documents and opening and closing documents, do them a favor and start to assign conditions into the file automatically if you're using enhanced. Make sure administratively they're tied to documents so your teams can see when there's documents that have attachments and they come in. They can come into the conditions, they can mark the conditions as fulfilled. And that way, when your underwriter comes in the file, the first thing they do is not go to the documents tab or not going to the file manager. They go to conditions. They go to the predefined view of fulfilled, and then this will flip to fulfilled, and they can get to underwriting those conditions first. Then they can go look at anything else that's been received. That's an optimized workflow. That's just an example of what we do when we help move companies to enhanced conditions. We don't just do the tech. That's the easy part. The important part is getting everybody to understand the updated modern workflow so that your underwriters are only focusing on reviewing the conditions that are there and that are marked as fulfilled. Jamie, the difference between fulfilled and received on a condition, I'll leave you with this because I know we're running out of time. Received, I don't like, because received is confusing between a document. What do you mean we received a condition? That doesn't make any sense. Is the condition fulfilled? Do you want me to review it or do you want me to guess? And so that's why I don't like received, reviewed, or rejected. Either the condition is fulfilled or it's added. And if it's fulfilled, it's because the document has been received. So I don't know if that's helpful, but it's what I find people usually get confused about is document status versus condition status. So I try to make sure that they are mutually exclusive in terms of words. So when we talk, we know what we're talking about. Guys, hope this has been helpful. I can't believe it's an hour. I know you got other things to do. I appreciate you coming. We'll put this replay up and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Any questions in the meantime, ask on the community. Appreciate you coming today. Enjoy, be safe, stay warm. See you next time. Bye-bye.